Alright, so today I'm just going to be showing my build and what I use. So we're just going to start off with the armor. Now, the armor I have on is Surtr's armor. I just have it dressed as the Berserker Cuirass. So, but I do have Surtr's armor on both his gauntlets and waist because you get a large damage reduction. Now, I'm just going to show it off. Now, the reason I use the Surtr armor is just for that damage reduction because I get hit a lot. I really do. And how you can attack while someone is attacking you. And it does more damage to him. Now this is on Give Me No Mercy, so be wary of that. Now the damage reduction, it's not just like a natural thing. Like you have to be attacking someone to get it, which I think is kind of crap, but you know, it's whatever. Here, let me demonstrate getting hit versus attacking someone. So it does a big chunk of damage, right? Wait for him to throw another. That does less. Again, it's not much, but it's enough to get you saved. Because, like, sometimes a lot of boss fights and stuff, they dwindle down to, like, the last bit of health. I just think Surtr's armor is just better. Another reason I like Surtr's armor is when you start to build up a combo, it won't get ruined by someone. Like right there. I got hit in the back, but my combo did get ruined, so I could launch all three of them. Obviously, everyone has their own opinion, so let me know yours. So the armor I recommend next is honestly one you get pretty early in the game. Lunda's Lost Cuirass. It's really good. I used it before I found Surtr's. Now I have it decorated as the Berserker Cuirass, so that's why it looks like that. I just think the Berserker looks dope. Now with Lunda's Lost Cuirass, you do damage to poisoned enemies, and one of the big ways you poison enemies is by just letting them attack you. If you let them hit you, then they'll build up some poison, and you just keep letting them hit you. And see how his meter dropped? This is where the Stonewall Shield comes in handy, because especially against bigger enemies where they have more shield breaker attacks. But anyway, that's Lunda's Lost Cuirass. Alright, next up, let's look at the amulets. Now I just have just using all the 9 realms. What you get for using the 9 realms is something called the 9 realms. And what it does, I do not know. Now I think it's a damage boost. But again, I'm not really sure. And I honestly don't even know what triggers it. I think it's a damage boost, because I think I'm doing more damage now. It doesn't heal, because I have no health, so I don't think it heals. For the axe attachment, I use Stonecutter's Knob, just because I like that extra concussive wave at the end. And I just spam lights. Really, everywhere I use heavies against enemies. Really, everywhere I use heavies against big enemies, I should say. I don't know, I just like how it just throws people at the end. Like so. Alright, next up for the light runic attack, I like Nord's Tempest. Just because you can get a lot of enemies with this wave. And you can drive it. Now, let me demonstrate again. And the more you upgrade it, the longer you can hold it down and spin. Now, the heavy runic I use for the Leviathan axe is the Breath of Thalmor. Mainly because it just stuns any enemy. It'll pick them up, add frost to them, and overall it just looks cool. For the blades attachment, I like Pommels of Burning Unity. What it does is it increases the burn status against people and charges your immolation. Where you're going to want to be watching is at the bottom left where you can see the blades cross. So I'm going to start by lighting these people on fire. As you can see, they have a burn status above their heads. Now, the more I hit them, the faster my immolation will charge. Alright, as you can see, it's charged up, so I can just hit L1 and triangle, and I do an insane amount of damage. For the light runic attack for the blades, what I use a lot is the Rampage of the Furies, just because it is really great against a group of enemies. And you can drive it very easily. Just demonstrate again. Now the heavy runic I like using for the blades is the Atlas Eruption, just because it stuns a lot of enemies a large amount, or in a large radius, I'm sorry. And we'll toss them back. It's really great when you have a lot of enemies around you like I just did. The spear attachment I like using is the Hind of Weightless Recovery. You just get good luck to get a cooldown. I'll see if I can get one right quick. Yep. Right there, blessing a cooldown. It's not very long, but it's still a good amount of cooldown. For the Draupnir spear, what I use is the hold your charge, just because you will get a resistance to whatever enemy you hit. So let me explain what that means. So since the Einherjar use a lot of Bifrost, if you hit one with it, you get Bifrost resistance. And if you hit a Hellwalker with one, you get Frost resistance, which is very helpful if you're fighting a large number of these enemies. The heavy runic I like using for the Draupnir spear is the Finger of Ruin. Just because it'll just swarm up a bunch of enemies. Just wrap them up and toss them. It also does damage over time. Not a lot of damage, but it's still some. For the shield, I use the Stonewall shield. Now, I really like this shield because when I first started using it, I had Lunda's Cuirass, and I would just hold it down and I would just poison a lot of enemies. So I just kind of kept it like that. I never really tried any other shield. The Dauntless shield I used a little bit, but I kept getting annoyed by getting shield broken and stuff. But I realized that didn't happen with a Stonewall shield, so that's why I kept it. The Rond, I used the Rond of Obliteration. You get it for getting all the Ravens, and you defeat the Raven Keeper. Shards of the Valkyrie, that's what you get for using this Rond. And what you do is it applies Bifrost. It'll hit someone, do damage, and also apply Bifrost to him. And it does a healthy amount of damage. And that Bifrost stuns them a little bit. Another reason I like the Stonewall shield is just because its shield strike is really good. I really like it. Because if you have a lot of enemies around you and it starts glowing red, your shield strike will just knock them off balance and you can continue to juggle them. I found this shield works best with the Blades of Chaos. Launch enemies up into the air, you can continue to juggle them very easily. Dude has an arrow in his ass. Like right in his crack. Anyway, yeah, this is another reason I like the Stonewall shield. It'll block those dodgeable attacks, or the unbreakable attacks, I'm sorry. And Lunda's Lost Cuirass will poison big enemies like this dude. For Spartan Rage, I use Fury, but I used to use Valor a lot. And when I used Valor, I was mainly fighting bosses, so I needed like a lot of health really quickly. And that's what Valor gave me. Now, the way I used Valor was I would wait till I would be low on health, and I would pop my relic, then I would spam it. So at the time, the relic I had when I was fighting all these bosses was the Realm Shift one. And it would just give me some time so I could use my Valor without having to worry about being hit. But if you time Valor up correctly, you get more health and a gift of strength for melee damage. Do it again right here. You get more health. Now, the best way to use Valor, in my opinion, is to wait until your rage meter is full. And I believe I should get to half health or full health. Yeah. Is it worth it? That's up to you. The next Spartan Rage, and the one I rarely use, is a Wrath. And you charge up to someone using whatever weapon, and you do a lot of damage to them. I don't know. Something about me just really never found this that useful. I mean, half the time, you really don't even kill them, so I just never found it useful. But if you do manage to kill someone with it, I believe you get health and maybe Gift of Strength. I can't remember exactly. Let's see. Yeah, you get a health boost. It's not much, but it's some, and I'll demonstrate it with the axe. So the Spartan Rage I like using the most is Fury. Now, a lot of people like Fury. So do I. It gives you a lot of health. It's a great one. And if you have any Bifrost on you, it'll get rid of it. And that's what I used Valor for a lot, was to get Bifrost off me. Before I realized Fury does it as well. I didn't think Fury did it. I was dumb. But yeah. Now, I didn't mention this before, but if you really want to max out Luna's armor, use Sather Exhale on Freya, because that also poisons enemies and can help you do more damage to them. Now, the hilt I prefer using is the hilt of Skofnung, whatever you want to say. I'm sure you've seen it by now. It is just insanely OP. Here, let me just show it off. It will target just about every enemy and just obliterate them. Now, the hilt will stun just about any enemy except a traveler. It will not stun this big motherfucker whatsoever. It'll do a lot of damage to him, but it will not stun him. Now, the cool thing about Hilt of Skofung is that it will stun lock these big bastards. Like so. And then you can just hammer away. So, that's about it. If you did enjoy, please leave a like and have a good one.